Is the purge coming to Indiana a lot sooner than we think? Well, here's a great opportunity to find out if it starts to happen. Washington County's Sheriff's Department will not have any officers available for overnight shifts starting on March 22nd, which is just 4 days away from this video being made. This is in Indiana, so from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., there will be no deputies driving around making sure people are safe and responding to calls. The Sheriff's Department announced Friday that it will not have enough officers to provide 24-hour coverage of the county. Washington County Sheriff's Department reported that it's currently down 6 deputies with 2 officers at training, 1 on light duty, and 3 positions open. And this is from Sheriff Brent Miller. This is not news I want to deliver to the citizens of Washington County. This is not a decision that has been made lightly. To the contrary, we have made change after change to the schedule and attempt to continue 24/7 coverage for the county. A recent salary survey revealed that our starting salary is $9,000 below the average starting salary of officers in comparison to surrounding counties and or city police departments. Our deputies are simply leaving for more money. So what is their salary range? First off, let's go with that. And as of, I believe, 2021, it was $44,980 starting out, which if you're in law enforcement or in public safety, that is pretty low. For what you do for a living, it's very low. Miller indicated that high turnover has plagued his department in recent years. The sheriff claimed the turnover impacts local taxpayers as the county is required to put newly hired officers through the police academy, only to lose them a short time after they graduate. So what a lot of departments will do is when they hire somebody on, they come on, they work on the streets, they do their FTO, which is their field training officers, and that's who they work with for an allotted amount of time, and then they get sent to the academy. They don't typically send them right away, from my understanding. And when they send them to the academy, they go through the course. It's through the state. Once they're done from there, now they are academy certified, whatever the term is for it's called. And departments find that a lot more attractive when someone's already been through the academy, because then they have the training. So they're going to get accepted at other places. And law enforcement applications are pretty farly down right now. And I'm kind of wondering why that is. No need to wonder why. It's the state that we're all in. It's not just Indiana. It's just crime across the country and what media does with it. And everyone here knows what's going on. So who's in charge of this? Who's in charge of their pay increases? Who's in charge of approving all this kind of stuff? Their city council. Well, let's take a look at who their city council is. And just so happens that I've got it up. All right, so let's go with Washington County's website themselves. It is their city council. This is their page, Washington County, Indiana. And it's right in here: Washington Township, Pierce Township, Howard Township, Madison Township, Vernon Township, Brown Township, Jefferson Township, Monroe Township, Gibson Township, Franklin Township, Polk Township, Jackson Township, Posey Township. I know I did that in a really weird way, but sorry about that. So this is as of... Well, here's where they're going to meet, January 2nd, and we are in March right now. Their next meeting is April 1st. I wonder if people will be attending that April 1st. I wonder where the meeting's going to be held at. Oh, it's at 99 Public Square, Suite 200 in Salem, Indiana. So I would just go ahead and say that you've been told now. So let's go ahead and meet the guys that are on this board. So there's Gerald Fleming. Here's also his email and numbers for him as well. Joe Walker. Here's his email and numbers as well. Preston Shell. Here's his email and number as well. Oh, here's Karen Wishmeyer. Email, number. Rondale Brishaber. Email, number. Keely Stingle. Email, number. Mark Bubba Abbott. Email, number. Now, those last 3 that I read off, those are the council at large positions. Still on the council, though. They're the ones that approve or disapprove on budgets and pay increases. So I don't know all of the story with what the sheriff has told them. I don't know what they've been presented with, but they say if the money's not there, but yet still their positions, they get their paid positions. Now, granted, it's not a lot of money, but it's still some money that they get. And I'm sure that money goes and is allocated to other things for the county as well. But if they're losing officers, and if it's been presented to them that they're losing officers, and it's also been presented to them that they're down $9,000 at a starting salary rate for what they do for work, and they haven't done anything about that, I'd say that the responsibility also falls on them. So let's go back to the rest of this story. Miller wrote that 10 deputies have left his department since he was elected in January 2019. The sheriff indicated that 3 of the deputies left the law enforcement industry and 7 accepted positions elsewhere. Miller claimed some deputies that moved on to other law enforcement agencies were able to make between $15,000 to $20,000 more than they were in Washington County. Miller wrote that he has reached out to all the Washington county council members and commissioners, but he claims only he's heard back from 3 council members and 1 commissioner, which I would say is kind of pathetic and sad. What is your position on this, the county council and as commissioner? Not to communicate at all with the sheriff on what's going on, or are you afraid of what's going on right now and being held responsible? I would say that the sheriff's probably done quite a bit to increase salaries and increase benefits, but the council is kind of against that, and I wonder why. His position also was added. He was elected in 2019 as well. The sheriff wrote that he saw positive results from actions taken in 2021, which allowed him to hire 3 additional deputies to bring his staff to 16. 16 sheriff's deputies in that whole county. Let's talk about how large this county is. It's 514 square miles with a population of 28,133. He added that he was able to lock in the starting salary for deputies at $44,980 for 3 years. Now, after 3 years, they have to renegotiate. At this point in our discussion, the county council has not communicated any options for a possible solution to the public safety issue. I have been told that the county does not have available funds to put towards fixing the issue. Miller added that he and the Washington County Merit Board plan to meet with an out-of-county advisor to discuss possible solutions to the department's staffing shortage. Even if, and also the state police are going to be covering in with what they can't cover overnight. Even if the state police are able to provide coverage, it is the responsibility of the county government to provide public safety for the citizens they represent. I mean, they also pay taxes that go towards this, and they're not receiving that service. So should they get some reimbursement because they're not getting their money's worth? But I don't see government officials ever doing that. So moving on to that part, let's go and take a look at where this is. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out on a map. You see Louisville right there. Here's Indianapolis, a few hours down, maybe 2 hours, maybe no, hour and a half drive from Indianapolis, I'd say. Here is Salem, Indiana, Plattsburgh, Georgetown, South Boston, all these areas. This is what they cover, this entire box inside of the red dotted lines. Now you're going to be asking, like, how bad is it there? Is it really extremely crime ridden? Are they working all that often? Well, it seems as though that crime occurs every 18 hours and 13 minutes on average in Washington County. Their overall crime grade is an A. So I would say that it's moderately safe there. Now, obviously, when you get to the larger cities inside of the county, that it's going to be a little bit different. So this is for violent crime only. And these advertisements, bro. The rate of violent crime in Washington County is 2.468 per 1,000 residents. It's like some really short people that are getting hurt too. Per 1,000 residents during a standard year, people who live in Washington County generally consider the southeast part of the county to be the safest for this type of crime. Your chance of being a victim of a violent crime in Washington County may be as high as 1 in 261 in the central neighborhoods, or as low as 1 in 569 in the southeast part of the county. So let us go back to the map here. So Salem has its own police department, right? And I believe that they have maybe a handful of officers, maybe a handful, at most 5. Probably just 1 to 4 working in this area on shift at one time. Because if a department says, hey, we've got 60 officers, well, they have 60 officers total, but that means that there's probably between 4 and 8 working at one time. So one major incident, one car accident, most likely all of those cops are showing up on that car accident, which for the department that I work for would happen all the time. You'd have every cop in the city working on one car accident. God forbid you have a shooting. You're going to have every cop there, hopefully within a few minutes. It's not generally a few minutes. It's a little bit longer than that, depending on how long of a distance they got to travel. But I know that my county is a lot smaller than this one, and they're going to have to travel quite a bit of distance in this area. So I'm upset with the county council. I'm upset with the commissioners that they have allowed this to happen. I would love to have on Sheriff Brent Miller on my podcast to talk about what's going on. He made this big, large post on Washington County, Indiana Sheriff's Department's Facebook page, which you can go and look at. Comments have been disabled to a lot of the people, so they only are allowing certain people to comment. And this is all what he said. I don't need to read all of this. I will actually allow you to pause. I wonder if you're able to even see the majority of it. So if you guys would like to read this, I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. And just pause in your own sections. So now what I've got up is an interactive map of the violent crime, overall crime. It's pulling that up. So overall crime, pretty low. Seems those A+ and a C grade. So what we're looking for is in this area, I believe, right here. Oh, that's in Salem. So it's pretty safe on this outer portion right here. Obviously, Salem, you're going to be having some more crime. That's just for overall, but for violent crimes, your chances, obviously, in Borden and Salem and Campbellsburg, what a name, are a lot higher. So what do you guys think? What should be the options? What do you guys think is going to happen to this situation? Do you think that crime is going to raise? Do you think that there's going to be a lot more burglaries and more violent crime overnight? So remember, from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., no law enforcement. So to the people that live in Washington County, I suggest, and I would already assume that the majority of you have guns, but I would buy some more guns, some more ammunition, defend your property and your life. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and maybe if Chief Miller sees this, I can have him on for the podcast and we can discuss more of the details of what's going on. I hope you guys have a blessed day in Washington County. Stay safe and enjoy the purge.